What's up, everybody? So we're back out here with another Shop Talk Tuesday, and in this episode I was planning on making a knife, but then I thought, you know what, it's Thanksgiving weekend, I want to spend time with my family, so I decided to go ahead and prioritize that versus making a knife. But as you can see from the thumbnail and the title of this video, I was able to get some work done inside the shop, which is absolutely awesome because I needed to do that for a while now. I needed to get pushed to the next step within the shop, and we were able to do that. Now, started off in this video, we were able to do this vise setup right here. Nothing big, nothing crazy, nothing fancy, just a good old Harbor Freight 4-inch vise. The biggest thing is I have it attached to something that is very sturdy. I'm gonna end up showing you all that while I'm talking right here, but we were able to make a really good just base for this and do something that I've needed in here for a while. With this particular shop, I haven't had a vise in here. So I've been having to go back and forth between this shop and the other shop in order to do any type of work that was requiring a vise. So what I decided to do was go and get a vise from Harbor Freight. They had them on sale for the whole Black Friday thing. So I got one of those right there for like $35 and decided to go ahead, make a really stout base for it, and then be able to have a vise in the shop. Now, if I decide that I want to make something a little bit larger, I can always go ahead and do that. Or if I wanted a larger vise, the only thing I got to do is just add a plate to the top of this particular vise stand and then attach the vise to that, which is pretty simple, pretty easy. I can go ahead and do that at any time, and it's something that is necessary in a shop, and I wanted to go through, kind of overbuild it, because why not? I don't have a post leg vise or anything like that, so I know that, you know, if you're a knife maker, that's one of the things that you should have. But for me, I'll end up getting one of those, but for right now I needed something that worked, and this setup right here definitely does that. It definitely ticks the boxes, does what it needs to do, and you know, we're going to be perfectly fine with this setup. I'm really excited that I went ahead and did this. I think that, again, it's one of those things that you have to have in your shop, because there's going to be times where you're going to need to put something in a vise, and it needs to be attached very well, so that if you need to do a little bit of hammering in the little area where the ricasso and the heel of the blade kind of meets, if you want to do some work in there or do anything like that, you can, you know, kind of working in that finger choil area. I want to be able to do stuff like that, so I needed this setup in order to be able to do that. Now, the other things that I was able to go ahead and get done in the shop, which of course you're seeing in all of this, all of the wall panels are up. Everything is up. All the wall panels, I went ahead and went with OSB on here. That way I can pretty much screw into anywhere that I want to, and it just works. So went ahead, did that on all the walls. Now, of course, you might be asking yourself, what's up with this area? Why doesn't that have any wall panels? Well, that's gonna get pegboard. So all of this area right here is gonna get pegboarded, but it's one of those things to where I needed to do this step in order to be able to do the workbench. Now, I'm gonna be playing some of the stuff in the background or in the foreground. I'm gonna be in the background. One of those things is gonna happen while I'm talking about this. So one of the things that I needed to do was go through and make sure that the walls were all covered for a few reasons. For one, I needed to be able to do that workbench, which is gonna be really nice. It's gonna be a 14-foot workbench. So we're gonna have that with a shelf underneath it, but I needed to get everything set up so that I could start building that, plus so that I could start building the doors and doing stuff like that, because I need the paneling up, and I needed the extra framing that I had next to the doors, which is another set of 4x4s, just actual posts right here and here. So this is a 2x4 and a 4x4 right next to it. because I'm gonna have really big shed doors on the outside of this that are actually 2x4 framed. They're gonna be pretty heavy doors. So I'm gonna have that, and I needed to go ahead and make sure that everything was prepped for them. So everything's now prepped for them, and now we have it set up, and I'm super excited about this. Now, some people might be asking, Eric, if you're at this point with this shop, why didn't you go through and insulate it? Why didn't you put insulating in the walls? More or less just because this area is not going to be heated or cooled by like an AC or a heater. I've got the basically the best furnace ever, which is the Forge, and that gets this whole entire shop super hot, super fast. You know, I had it going for about 30 minutes one day, and it was 25 degrees outside, and inside the shop it was 85 degrees. And it stayed that way for hours after I turned the Forge off. So it's not necessary for me to have insulation to keep the area warm. I kick on the Forge or I kick on my heater, and that heats everything in here up just fine. If I'm worried about it being hot in here, I don't care. I used to forge in an 11 by 11 shop with one door that was this big. That was it, one opening. This one has big fan in the corner, that door, that big old doorway, and this is 14 by 16 feet. And the ceiling is like 2 feet taller than the old shop. So this is amazing when it comes to forging during the heat. I've already done it. I've forged out here when it was 100 degrees outside, and it was awesome. It's so nice to be able to kind of step out into the openness and be able to forge out here. Like, this is absolutely awesome, having this outdoor space here, being able to come out here, get away from the area inside here, or have the forge in here going. My anvils are on wheels on the sides there, so I can roll them out. That's on wheels. The bench is going to be right here. That's not here right now. It's going to be on wheels, but it's really nice. I can just take the anvils, move them out here, forge out here, and not be in this shop. So it's going to be awesome. I'm going to love the space. I think it's going to be just a great overall space. And when it boils down to it again, I needed to get all of this stuff done so that we could get moved forward to the next step. I had to get this completely built before I could put the wall paneling on, because it needed to be completely mounted to the framing of the shop. So I had to get that built and where it's at. And then I had to get all the paneling up so I could start building the workbench, which is going to be attached to that wall. And I needed to be able to get all of this stuff set up so I could put the doors up, because they're going to be attached to that. So it's all steps that had to happen, and it had to happen at some point. So I figured this was the perfect weekend for it to happen. You know, I didn't have to spend an absolute insane amount of time focusing on this. I got to spend time with my family. And now next weekend, we're going to be making a knife that I've never made before, which is going to be pretty cool. It's going to be a unique experience, and we're going to see how that goes. But that's what we're going to have for next week's knife. My goal is to make a Yakut, if I'm even saying that right, style knife, which is pretty cool. It's this type of knife right here. I'm going to try and make one of those, of course, my version of that, and we're going to see how that goes. But guys, that's it for this particular video. You know, we got everything set up right here. It's looking really cool. It's looking more like a shop every time we do one of these videos. Guys, if you would, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, you know, do those things, because all of those help the channel, and this channel is what helps fund all of this. And if y'all have bought lumber or bought wood, y'all know none of this is cheap. So if you would, thumbs up, subscribe, all those things. Y'all have an amazing day. Y'all stay safe out there. I'm out of here.